The Voice, which coach out next after deemed replaceable? Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The Voice coaches have been deemed replaceable, which has led to the question of who will be out next. Blake Shelton and Adam Levine were the bookends and staples of the series. Now that they have both left, it appears that no one is safe, and fans like it that way. Read on for more details. The Voice, which coach out next after deemed replaceable? It was hard enough when Adam Levine exited The Voice in 2019 after 16 seasons. He and Blake Shelton had an amazing bromance which helped the dynamic of the series. More so, it did not matter who was sandwiched between them. They helped to carry the show, and even Blake, on his own, found someone he could have banter with. Unfortunately, he departed after season 23, with Reba McEntire replacing him. She has been a fun addition, but the judges do rotate some, and the consistency can be questionable. Recently, the show's hairstylists explained to The Sun why rotating coaches is a benefit to the long-running series. Things that contribute to the people coming back to the show would be the coaches changing. I think that the contestants are always new and fresh, new faces. For season 25, Chance the Rapper returned after a hiatus, while Dan plus Shay became the first coaching duo. Of course, after the Adam/Blake departures, it was then noted, we kept going. Everyone's always replaceable. That being said, who would be next in line to be let go from the show? So, with the switches and changes, who do fans think should leave The Voice next? This one is a shocker, but it is actually Ms. Reba. In a Reddit posting, one fan wrote this: harsh words were said about Gwen Stefani last season as viewers felt she could not pick a good team. They demanded that Kelly Clarkson come back to the show, but she has since relocated to NYC. Fans react to season 25. Though this fan is ready to get rid of Reba McEntire from The Voice, what do other show fans have to say about the current season? It appears viewers do like Reba and what she brings to the table, but time will tell what will come for season 26. With a show like this, anything is possible. Would you like to see Reba back for another round, or do you want more fresh blood? Let us know and watch The Voice Mondays and Tuesdays on NBC. The sun had just begun to set over Los Angeles, casting a golden hue over the iconic red chairs of The Voice stage. The atmosphere was electric, as it always was when the show was about to go live. Behind the scenes, the production team buzzed with last-minute preparations, adjusting lights, testing microphones, and ensuring everything was perfect for the night's performances. In the midst of the controlled chaos, the four celebrity coaches, Blake Shelton, Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, and Gwen Stefani, were in their respective dressing rooms preparing for the show. Each coach had their own rituals. Blake tuned his guitar, Kelly sipped on her honey tea, John practiced his vocal warm-ups, and Gwen checked her outfits one last time. Despite the usual pre-show excitement, there was an undercurrent of tension in the air. Whispers of potential changes to the coaching lineup had been circulating for weeks. Rumors that one of the coaches was deemed replaceable had everyone on edge, even if no one knew exactly who it might be. In his dressing room, Blake couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. As the longest-serving coach on the show, he had seen many come and go. Yet the thought of being replaced gnawed at him. He glanced at his reflection in the mirror, wondering if his time had finally come. The meeting. Earlier that day, the show's executive producers had convened a private meeting to discuss the future of The Voice. The meeting room was filled with tension as the producers reviewed ratings, audience feedback, and potential changes to the show's format. Jessica Hart, the head producer, took a deep breath before addressing her colleagues. We've had an incredible run with our current lineup, but it's time to consider some changes to keep the show fresh and exciting. The network believes that one of our coaches may be losing their appeal. The room fell silent as the producers exchanged uneasy glances. Jessica continued, we've been reviewing audience feedback, and while all our coaches are loved, there's a sentiment that one of them might be replaceable. We need to decide who that is and how to handle the transition. Jessica's words hung heavily in the air. The decision to replace a coach was never easy, and the producers knew it would impact the show and its dedicated fan base. They began discussing each coach's strengths and contributions, carefully weighing the pros and cons. As the live show progressed, the tension among the coaches was palpable. Each of them was aware of the rumors, though none of them had spoken openly about it. They maintained their usual camaraderie on camera, but behind the scenes, the atmosphere was strained. During a commercial break, Kelly approached John in the hallway. "John, have you heard anything about the rumors? Do you think they're true?" John sighed, his brow furrowed with concern. "I've heard whispers, but nothing concrete. It's hard to say what's really going on. All we can do is focus on doing our best and supporting our teams." Kelly nodded, but the uncertainty weighed heavily on her. She couldn't help but wonder if she was the one the producers had deemed replaceable. Her mind raced with thoughts of what she could do differently to secure her place on the show. Meanwhile, Gwen and Blake were having a similar conversation in their shared dressing room. "Blake, do you think it's me?" Gwen asked, her voice tinged with anxiety. "I've only been back for a couple of seasons. Maybe they want someone new." Blake shook his head, trying to reassure her. "Gwen, you're amazing. The fans love you, and you bring so much to the show. We can't let these rumors get to us." Despite Blake's comforting words, he couldn't shake his own doubts. The uncertainty hung over them like a dark cloud, threatening to overshadow their performances. The revelation. The following morning, the coaches were called to a meeting with the producers. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation as they gathered in the conference room, each wondering if this was the moment of truth. Jessica Hart entered the room, her expression serious but calm. "Thank you all for coming. I know there have been rumors circulating, and I want to address them head on." The room fell silent as Jessica continued. "The network has decided that in order to keep The Voice fresh and engaging, we need to make some changes to the coaching lineup. This decision was not made lightly, and it's based on a variety of factors, including audience feedback and ratings." The coaches exchanged nervous glances, each bracing for the news. Jessica took a deep breath before delivering the revelation. "After much consideration, we've decided that Gwen will be stepping down as a coach for the next season." Gwen's eyes widened in shock, and the room erupted in murmurs. Blake immediately reached out to comfort her, while Kelly and John looked on with sympathetic expressions. Jessica raised her hand to regain control of the room. "Gwen, this decision is not a reflection of your talent or contributions. You've been an incredible coach, and we hope you'll remain part of the Voice family in other capacities." Gwen nodded, fighting back tears. "Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate the opportunity I've had here, and I'll always cherish my time on the show." The aftermath. The news of Gwen's departure sent shockwaves through the Voice community. Fans took to social media to express their support and sadness, while speculations about her replacement ran rampant. Back at the studio, the atmosphere was somber. Gwen packed her belongings from her dressing room, reflecting on her journey with the show. Blake stood by her side, offering words of encouragement and support. "You've been amazing, Gwen. This isn't the end for you. It's just a new beginning," Blake said softly. Gwen smiled through her tears. "Thank you, Blake. I'll miss being here, but I'm excited to see what the future holds." As Gwen prepared to leave, the other coaches gathered to say their goodbyes. Kelly hugged her tightly, while John expressed his gratitude for the time they had shared on the show. The producers, too, offered their well wishes. Jessica Hart approached Gwen with a warm smile. "Gwen, you've been an incredible part of The Voice, and we hope to work with you again in the future. Thank you for everything." With a final wave, Gwen left the studio, her heart heavy but hopeful. The remaining coaches watched her go, knowing that the show would never be quite the same without her. A new beginning. In the weeks that followed, the producers began the search for a new coach to join the lineup. They needed someone with charisma, talent, and the ability to connect with both the contestants and the audience. Names were thrown around, from seasoned musicians to rising stars. The producers held meetings, auditions, and discussions, determined to find the perfect fit. Meanwhile, the remaining coaches continued with their preparations for the next season. The uncertainty of who would join them added an extra layer of tension, but they remained focused on their teams and the upcoming performances. One afternoon, Jessica Hart gathered the producers for a final decision. We've reviewed all our options, and we believe we found the perfect coach to join The Voice. Someone who brings a fresh perspective and incredible talent. The producers leaned in, eager to hear the name. Jessica smiled, knowing they were about to make an exciting announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new coach, Miley Cyrus. Miley's arrival. The announcement of Miley Cyrus as the new coach was met with a mix of excitement and curiosity. Known for her bold personality and diverse musical background, Miley was sure to bring a unique energy to the show. As Miley arrived at the studio for her first day, she was greeted with a warm welcome. The production team, crew, and fellow coaches were eager to get to know her and see what she would bring to the table. Blake, Kelly, and John gathered to greet Miley, their expressions a mix of curiosity and excitement. "Welcome to The Voice, Miley," Blake said with a grin. "We're glad to have you here." Miley smiled, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Thanks, Blake. I'm thrilled to be here and can't wait to get started." Kelly hugged Miley, her excitement evident. "It's going to be so much fun having you on the show. We're going to have a blast." John extended his hand in a friendly gesture. "Welcome, Miley. Looking forward to working with you." With the introductions complete, Miley quickly settled into her role. She brought a fresh, vibrant energy to the show, connecting with contestants and viewers alike. Her unique perspective and fearless approach to music added a new dimension to the coaching lineup. The new dynamic. As the new season of The Voice kicked off, the dynamic between the coaches evolved. Miley's presence brought a fresh energy to the show, and the interactions between the coaches were filled with playful banter and friendly competition. The contestants, too, felt the impact of Miley's arrival. Her coaching style was bold and unconventional, pushing them to take risks and embrace their individuality. The chemistry between the coaches and their teams created an electrifying atmosphere that resonated with the audience. One evening, during a particularly intense rehearsal session, Miley gathered her team for a heart-to-heart conversation. "I want you all to remember that this journey is about more than just winning. It's about finding your voice and staying true to yourself."